You doing a couple shower, Dustin?
I mean, it's not my choice.
I don't think anything in that household's his choice.
Why don't you like?
Damn.
He's not wrong.
Oh, Dustin, you're getting ripped. We got to get off here.
This wasn't my decision. Like I'm on your guys' side. I'm on your side. Everyone out there, I'm with you.
Hey, if you don't stop it now, it's going to be a rough road to hoe for you, buddy.
He's got to fight back.
Pretty seriously, like, Dustin, where you going? I'm going to the bathroom. No, you're not. Not without my permission. Hey,
if it gets that bad, then we'll have to address it for sure.
I'm going to go cover practice. No, you're not. You didn't ask me.
Hey, good thing practice happens while she's at work. So, freedom.
Freedom.
Hey guys, it's Terrence Nan. You're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Noles Game Day. Go Noles.
Hey, what's up? This is Peter Ward, aka E-Dub, in the house. We're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Noles Game Day. Go live, go Noles.
Hi, this is Charlie Ward, and you're listening to Hear the Spear. Go Noles.
This is Terrell Buckley. You're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Noles Game Day. No Bloody.
But perhaps better known as the greatest corner to ever step on a football field, Deion Primetime Sanders.
Great Deion Sanders, my brother. What's going on, man? I could wake up to that greeting every day, man. That was awesome.
Hello, Noles fans. This is former Seminole Derek Brooks, and you're listening to Hear the Spear, presented to you by Noles Game Day.
James Wilder Jr. What's going on, James?
Thanks for having me on. FSOD, Florida State or Die, and go Noles.
William Bar None Floyd.
Gentlemen, what's up?
What's happening, guys? This is Logan Robbins from Hear the Spear, presented to you by NolesGameDay.com. We are here on this wonderful, fantastic Wednesday. It's actually beautiful. It's been beautiful over a week here in Tallahassee, so it is actually gorgeous. But Florida State is still 0-4. We had our instant reaction on Saturday night to that, and we'll have another instant reaction on Saturday after Florida State faces Syracuse this upcoming weekend at 3:30. We are live with Dustin Lewis, our lead writer and editor, along with Austin Veazey, our lead basketball writer. Things starting to kick into gear there for him. And then Travis Hunter Stan, a.k.a. Nate Greer, is in the house, recruiting insider for NolesGameDay.com. Gentlemen, we are back at it again. The energy isn't gone. Even though Florida State hasn't won a game, the energy is still here. We're bringing it. Content's flying through the presses. I don't know what's happening. So much stuff happening is going on right now. But, gentlemen, how we doing? Good evening.
Doing great. First off, let's give a shout out to Austin for, you missed the last podcast with kidney stones, and now you're back battling through some tooth pain, I believe.
Yeah.
So, just a true warrior here to talk about the winless Seminoles.
Got a emergency dentist visit coming tomorrow. That should be fun. And yeah, Florida State's so bad they put me in the hospital for 9 hours Saturday night and Sunday morning. So, just it's dandy around here. Just love it.
The only thing that matters is, did you get the Toradol?
I did get the Toradol. That's the best my knees have felt since high school.
That's all that matters, man. That stuff is magic.
Yeah. On the bright side, it ended up not being a kidney stone, but the bad news is we don't know what it is. So, fun times around here.
Nate, how we doing? We feeling good?
I feel
COVID gone. Feel back to normal.
I still have a time to time like chest congestion a little bit, but I think that's with the mask and everything because we still have to wear them at work. But otherwise, I'm feeling great.
Good.
So really loving 0-4 life. Really celebrating that right now.
We'll go. Hopefully there'll be a turn this upcoming weekend. As always, you can listen to this podcast on the show. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button. If you're on iTunes, also hit that subscribe button. Leave a review. Definitely appreciate it. Maybe a nice one. That'd be really nice, actually, if you leave a 5-star rating. And then you can subscribe on Spotify everywhere. But, gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started. Let's give our last kind of final thoughts on Florida State versus Louisville. It's been a few days. Austin, I'll kind of let you go first since we didn't get to hear from you. What do you think about that game? Because I was kind of in a different element now being up there in the box. I was like a little bit more weird. Maybe because I wasn't drinking or drunk heading into the game, so that helps. But how did you feel about it? What was your reaction to that loss?
I didn't get to watch a ton of it. I think I got home from work like 6 o'clock, so I got to watch like the fourth quarter. I mean,
There we
it's
go.
what Florida State is this year. It's
Let him know. Let him know.
at
For the
least Florida State
podcast
didn't give
people.
up. Yeah.
Sorry,
Florida State
we're
didn't
just
give up.
interrupting.
Yeah. Florida
Yeah.
State didn't give up except for Andrew Parchment on that last deep ball. Other than that, at least they fought back. They had every reason to just sit down, lie down, just let them get rolled over, but they fought back. I really like the defense in the second half. They were able to keep Cunningham contained, and they finally got the run game going. Both Corbin and Ward look great. I don't know how they'll do this week against a good Syracuse front, but there's some positives, but it's still a loss. It's absolutely a negative.
Yeah, no, overall, I will say, looking back at the game and everything, the defensive side of the ball and them fixing that miscommunication helped a lot. That's something Brownlee talked about in the presser, that all that communication was just gone in the first half. And that's something heading into this weekend they're going to have to fix. And the defense, overall, the whole team does, but the defense has got to get off the field early moving forward in the rest of the season, because it was just ugly, just dicing up and going to the flats. And we talked about it, Nate and D'Lo, on the instant reaction. I mean, it was just nonstop and just easy to the flat routes. I mean, it was nonstop, and that's how they were giving up these third downs, if I can speak correctly. I'm not drunk, I promise. But yeah, gentlemen, whatever y'all's thoughts too.
Like Austin, I like the second half fight, but at the same time, just a lot more questions still coming out of that game. I did like Norvell's press conference earlier in the week. He pretty much told everyone to shut the fuck up and be patient, which is, you could tell he wanted to just cuss it out. But
yeah,
I like to hear that. But at the same time, you hear. And you watch what Florida State's doing on the field, and it's just still mind-numbing. Whenever Louisville needed to get a first down on third down, they went after the linebackers in the passing game. Or the first half was just kind of I don't understand the difference between the tail of the two halves, because that's the same team. What switched for them? How come they cannot still put a complete game together? But, moving on, Florida State makes another quarterback look like a All-American candidate, because this defense just couldn't get out of their own way in the first half. Nothing more to really say. The play by Parchment was disappointing because he was brought in to make that play at Florida State, and I'm not going to say necessarily gave up on the play, but the play was bad. That's all I really got on Louisville.
Yeah, I definitely thought the second half effort from the defense was encouraging. And I mean, man, you definitely want to see that momentum, carry into the game against Syracuse this weekend, particularly in the defensive backfield. I mean, you think about Jarvis Brownlee, hit a couple of big tackles late in that game and seemed pretty fired up. And now you're going into a matchup with a Syracuse team who doesn't really have a great quarterback what's his name, Garrett Schrader. I think it was only 76 passing yards last week. So the main threat this week is going to be Sean Tucker in the backfield. I think if the defense can limit what Schrader is going to do, we've all seen the run defense this season. It's been pretty solid outside of that Wake Forest game where they kind of worked FSU with the RPO. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, looking ahead to it, we'll preview Syracuse fully, but that defensive line's going to have to get it after it again, and they've got a talented running back coming in. He's a freshman. So, I mean, they got to be prepared for the running game. Overall, I mean, going into now, we'll talk some practice observations since I and Noah have been at the last few of them. I think the energy, there's been some kind of flip. At the last practice, Dustin was there too. I mean, it was just not so much energy. It was kind of guys weren't talking to one another. The coaches were still there with it, but it seems like they've hit a different switch this week. And that's something I noticed right away yesterday morning, is that Norvell is fired up. He's a lot more one-on-one with guys. He's actually going over to, I mean, he does this, but he's running everywhere and it's nonstop. And that's how most of the practices are, but he's just kind of taking it to a different notch. And has actually worn off, like Noah reported today. It's worn off on the rest of the team, it feels like. And the guys are jumping around, not lacking anywhere, just kind of being there and, being vocal. And that's just something we didn't see really at all, at least last Tuesday practice. I asked Noah because, I was with him yesterday morning and I asked him, you were able to see that practice last Wednesday. How was that one? And he said, it was good, but it wasn't anything like we're seeing this week. And so that's something interesting, at least for me, if I'm, looking into the game and making a prediction later in the show. That's something I'm taking. I think that means a lot, at least for this team. Still buying in, listening to coach, and that's something you see. There's not a lot of lacking around, and I think that's a good thing that this team is still dialed in, believing in their coach, and ready to rock, and willing to get better too, because improvement is needed on both sides of the ball. And I think guys are even being put, like Nate, you talked about in the instant reaction, I believe, guys are being put in positions to make plays, but they're not being done. I mean, Andrew Parchment talked about in the press conference after the game that he came to Florida State to make plays like that. That's why Florida State wanted him, and he didn't. And that was he wasn't happy with himself whatsoever, and he shouldn't be. Guys are being put in the right positions. You just got to make these plays.
Yeah, it comes down to execution and being disciplined. And I just really question how in game 3 you still have miscommunication issues. So that's got to get fixed. So like it got fixed in the second half. Fuller did adjust that defense. He spied Cunningham more. I think getting Briggs back helped out a lot in that second half. So that's going to be the story of this week is the health of Briggs and Lovett, because they're going up against a really good running back. I know he's a freshman, but he's off to a great start. And, this is almost like the same team playing each other, which we'll talk, I'll talk about here in a little bit, my views of the game. But, they're going to really need to have a full rotation at defensive line to contain Syracuse run game.
Yeah, I agree. You're definitely going to need Fabian Lovett back in that lineup. I know he wasn't available to play for FSU last Saturday. So this is the game, you're going to need that kind of effort that you had against Notre Dame, where you were allowed, I think it was 1.9 yards per carry or whatever. And for the season, even after the Wake Forest game, FSU's only given up 3.9 yards a carry. Like, they've been, one thing that you can say about that defense is they've been solid more than not against the run game, and they've forced plenty of tackles for loss and things like that as well. So you got to feel good about your defensive front going into this. And I think maybe the game plan could end up being similar to what we saw of Notre Dame, making Schrader have to pass, kind of like what they did with Jack Cohn. Obviously, it didn't work out there, but we'll see this weekend.
Yeah, I know some people are questioning why, Lundy's getting a lot of reps, but that's because, he's better than what's behind him with his run fits. He's probably the best linebacker when it comes to the run game. And, that's where this game is going to be important. So I expect to see a lot of Lundy this weekend.
Mm-hmm. I think Lundy will play a big factor. And I will say, at least on Tuesday's practice, I thought Steven Dix, he got a lot of praise from the coaching staff, and he was hitting the right gaps too, and because they were running a lot of situations with obviously getting ready for Syracuse's running game, and he was hitting the right gaps. And Coach Marv, along with Fuller and Norvell, were giving him a lot of praise. So it's good to see Steven Dix Jr. have a good week of practice too, once he gets put into the rotation on Saturday. And you'd like to see Steven Dix Jr. Be a pivotal factor on that defense, because he's got the physical attributes, just some few things that it's lacking, holding him back. But you would like to have not only that, but have it for depth too. I mean, you want to have a more of an experienced guy out there too. So I'd like to see if Lundy's good to go. Lundy will be good to go, but if you need Steven Dix Jr. out there, then you have him. So
yeah, but Dix had an interception during practice today. And man, just how much could that linebacker unit use a guy like Emmett Rice right now? It'd be nice to have him come back at some point in the season.
Yeah, no, that would be pretty nice. We'll see if we'll get an update from the coaching staff on number 1 anytime soon on if we'll see him at Rice. But going to a little bit more of some practice notes today, Jordan Travis participating, starting in some 11-on-11s, actually had some good balls out there, scrambled a little bit, but had some really pretty balls deep from what Noah was reporting. And that kind of brings up a question to me. What is kind of the game plan for Jordan Travis? If he's fully healthy right now, what is the game plan But if he's fully healthy, what would be the game plan for him? You can't keep him off the field for the rest of the season. What are you going to do? I mean, I don't understand.
He can't be more than a gadget guy. He hasn't proven anything to say he can be a full-time quarterback. He's still 2 boom or bust. Like we saw in the Notre Dame game, it was either touchdown in 2 plays or 3 and out. He had a couple solid drives against Wake Forest, but he's still not executing more than he is executing. To me, he's got to be a gadget player where you can give him a handoff on a jet sweep and he has the option of throw. It's got to be stuff like that where you can really catch the defense off guard. But he hasn't proven anything to say he's a full-time quarterback. And granted, Milton hasn't been great, but I'd still rather have Milton out there than Travis.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff just, they're not really sure what to do with either quarterback at this point. I mean, we've seen the constant flip-flopping throughout the first 4 games. Obviously, Milton got to play the entirety of that game against Louisville, but how much was that due to Travis, not really being available out there? So I'm interested to see what they do this week. Are they going to run with one signal caller throughout again, or are they going to switch it up and it's going to be like the Wake Forest game where you have in and out, in and out? I mean, man, we'll see.
My opinion hasn't changed. Florida State doesn't have a quarterback right now, so you just got to figure out what your game plan is, and if you want to try to get the ball downfield and open up the passing game. I'm not sure Travis is the guy. Milton has shown that he's struggling getting the ball out too. So, we talked about in the instant reaction, you could really tell the loss of velocity on his arm with the injury. Not that he had a great arm before, but, it's definitely impacted him as a quarterback. And just the aspect of him running, which is where I think that Travis could help, is that, Milton missed some plays tripping over grass. Let's just call it like it is. He did. And, if Travis has an opportunity, what happens is that turn into a big play. Is it at least a first down? You don't know. So like Dustin, I don't know what this team, I don't know if the coaches know what they want to do or what they really have. And that's why I think a lot of people are pining for Duffy. I mean, Duffy in the future, but for Purdy, because he can do a little bit of both. And I know, you don't want to throw him in there if he's not ready, and I get all that. And, you don't want him to come in and shine and possibly, deter other quarterbacks from coming. I understand all that, but Florida State's got to win. And if Purdy's a guy who can at least get you an opportunity to win, then he should start. But right now, Florida State has 0 quarterbacks because the constant rotation. I'll say the same thing about Syracuse, is they went from Tommy DeVito, who's been their starter for 2 years, and started Garrett Schrader last week, the Mississippi State transfer, and he wasn't that great. So, much like FSU, Syracuse is having a lot of problems at quarterback.
Yeah, no, I don't like the whole rotation thing. If you got to pick one, so I'm going back to the Wake Forest game, and I absolutely hated what, at least for the first part, that they did with Jordan Travis and the kind of package there. I mean, they were just relying on him to just take them down the field with about the same plays, left and right. Take the snap, run off to the left. Take the snap, run up the middle, and try to find any kind of hole that you can. And it didn't seem like he was fully even really healthy for that game. And then you're just relying on him to do that. Then you throw Milton in there, and that wasn't working so well. So then you throw back in Jordan Travis. That just can't be the case. That's not going to work. But I do want to see, if you are going to run with Milton for the rest of the season as starting quarterback, you can't leave. If Jordan Travis is fully healthy, you can't leave him off the field. He was your leading rusher last season. And I think adding a tandem with him, you've got Jashawn Corbin, who's obviously having a great start to his season right now, averaging 9 yards per carry. You're looking at Treshaun Ward, who is actually like blowing up. I mean, he is shifty, he's twitchy, and he makes plays out of nothing. And so having these guys, those three out there helps quite a bit. I would like to have Jordan Travis out there more, though, if he's fully healthy. And they got to find a better game plan for him.
Yeah, I mean, Florida State needs to find something to do with Travis. I agree. Because, say what you want to say about about him as a quarterback. When you talk shit quarterback, there's things that to not like about it. But when you talk about him, like we said ad nauseum on this podcast, there's a lot to like about him as an athlete with the ball in his hand. So you have to figure out a way to, to scheme him into the offense. And, it's going to have to happen because Milton hasn't shown the ability to run the ball, and teams are targeting on that. So, Florida State's in a pickle, man, because I don't think they really expected Milton to struggle like he has in the passing game. He didn't look like that in the spring game. I'll say that, but that's another debate. But they have a decision to make. So you go with one or the other, or you go with the young guy and see what happens.
Yeah, and to your point, Chubba Purdy, first time this season, we saw him make an appearance on the depth chart on Monday, listed as a co-backup with Jordan Travis to Mackenzie Milton. So, he's been getting more reps during practices recently. He's looked pretty well. Coach Norvell has praised him in recent post-practice interviews, and I think they're excited about what he can bring. But, obviously the goal coming into the season was to have either Mackenzie Milton or Jordan Travis lead this offense. But I think, the further you go, if you do lose this weekend, then, let's be honest, you're probably going to go into North Carolina and lose next Saturday and be 0-6. At that point, it's pretty much a lost season. There's really no negative to throwing Chubba Purdy out there, let him get those reps and potentially becoming the quarterback of the future.
Mm-hmm.
How do y'all think he looked last year when he played?
As a freshman, but
Yeah.
he had balls. He had 3 straight drops to wide receivers.
Yep.
I like it because he's a mix of Jordan Travis and Milton, the abilities of being able to run, get out of the pocket fast, use his legs. But I think he's really good in rollouts. That's one thing that we've been able to see him in practice. He's really fast. He reads quickly. But he's just still a redshirt freshman. He's going to make mistakes. That's what Norvell said. He just will make mistakes, but just depends. I don't see them going anytime soon with him. I don't think, unless something happens this weekend and it's some wild thing that he has to go in. But I still think, of course, if it's Milton and Travis and they're healthy, they'll be them two definitely going to North Carolina. But it started a big discussion the last couple of weeks. Well, when will we see Chubba Purdy go out there? Why not give him a chance if things aren't going so well at quarterback? And you're maintaining your running game. That's still something we need to talk about because that needs to be churned up more a little bit. Definitely with Corbin doing his thing right now. So he can rely on that. When do you start seeing number 12 get out there more?
Well, Florida State's not going to be able to run for 300 a game because, as a couple other websites have pointed out this week that, defense is starting to put 9 in the box. So they're really daring Florida State to beat them through the passing game, which pretty much tells you none of these teams respect Florida State's athletes outside. So, the more that these guys stack the box, it's going to be harder to run the ball. Doesn't matter how good that Norvell, Dillingham, and Atkins can scheme the running game, which they can do really well. When there's 9 in the box, it's gonna be hard. So it's gonna come down to these guys outside got to make the plays. The quarterback's got to get the ball to these guys, and until Florida State can consistently make plays outside and stretch the field and make these teams pay for stacking the box, it's not going to stop.
Johnny's asking, will Boston College go in and upset Clemson this week?
No, because it's not an upset. Boston College, they're going to win.
What'd you say?
I said they will not upset him because it's not an upset. Boston College is winning that game.
Oh my! Undefeated, Jaden. Jaden Woodby's undefeated over there in Boston College.
The more that we can see Clemson struggle, the better.
Absolutely. Helps any way, shape, or form for Florida State.
We can't take advantage of it. Like,
yep.
This would be a great time for us to start bouncing back, but here we are, 0-4.
It's pretty eye-catching how much they're struggling on offense. You know, for a team that's recruited so well, they just are really, really bad on offense right now. They have no continuity. They have nothing going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and BC is a really good defense. So
yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. You know, as much as I hate that program, I hate their head coach. You know, I'd be surprised if, you know, Boston College went in and beat Clemson. You know, coming off a loss. You know, I think that they'll pull out, you know, some BS in the end.
DJ has to show something he hasn't shown yet. Like, he's got to prove he can do something because he hasn't looked good. Just hasn't looked good in any game.
And this is like why I question, you know, Purdy some. You know, DJ went in there and, you know, lit up the world against Notre Dame last year, and everyone's pegging him as the next up and coming, really great quarterback. And then this year he's garbage, man. Like, he's bad. And I know people don't like that word garbage, but he's bad. So you just don't know until you give these kids an opportunity to get in the game. So, and this is DJ's team now at Clemson. So, you know, a lot of it falls out that they don't have a really consistent run game. You know, they have probably one of the best wide receiver cores other than Alabama and Ohio State in the country. So, you know, why can't they put points on the board? Like, they're worse than FSU in terms of offense right now, which says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I love to see it.
I'm sure you're enjoying yourself.
Absolutely. Going into, you know, recruiting too, let's talk about this. Any kind of updates on the recruiting side of things? And we know we talked about on the website, talking about Omar Graham, linebacker, and Trevon Williams, defensive end, two current 2022 commits. Ed's after him, Orgeron's after him. I mean, LSU's all after some of the catch right now. But any kind of things that y'all are hearing? I know you talked to Parson in the 2023 class a little bit, Dustin, and you kind of got to talk to him during last weekend's game. Any kind of updates from both of you guys and what you're hearing from some of the recruits?
Yeah, I got to talk with Omar Graham last week, the guy that we wrote the article on about LSU offering, and he told me, you know, right now he's fully locked in. He believes in the coaching staff, believes that they're going to get this thing back right. And I was asking him about Tribe 2022 and, you know, what he thinks about guys, you know, maybe potentially decommitting because of FSU's slow start. And he said the majority of the guys he's talked to are locked in. He thinks there could be maybe a couple guys that decommit, but he thinks the majority of the class will stay and sign with FSU. And, you know, I've talked to some other guys, Brian Courtney, Kanaya Charlton, you know, they're both locked in. They're going to be signing in December, enrolling in January. I talked to Rodney Hill today. He told me, he said, there's nothing that can change my mind about Florida State. He said he doesn't care if they go 0-12. He's signing with Florida State. And, you know, he said the same thing. He's like, he believes that they can keep this class together. And, you know, all these guys are locked in. They really love Florida State and what the coaching staff is doing. And I think it really shows right now. You know, we're 4 weeks into the season. You're 0-4, and you've got the number 10 class in the country, 18 commitments, I think it is. No one has backed off of their pledge yet. You're starting to see a couple guys test the waters, visit schools. We'll see what happens. It is important for Florida State to get some success going on the field, though. That'll definitely help things out.
I've been chasing more uncommitted kids. I know, you know, Dustin's been really locking into the kids who are committed. You know, I honestly, there's still a lot of wait and see. You know, talking to a couple of high school coaches, you know, there's a lot of people who are, you know, 50-50. They're surprised that, you know, Florida State's off to the start they're at. And there's also people who, you know, are professors of knowing it all, and that, you know, they knew this was going to happen. So it's going to come down to Florida State's got to win. They have to get some W's, or I'm not worried about LSU because they got their own stuff going on. I wouldn't be surprised if that whole thing blows up there.
Yeah.
Florida State's going to have some decommitments. It's going to happen, and FSU fans got to prepare for that. It comes down to keeping Duffy, keeping Hunter, keeping the core of the class, like I talked about last week, together. They're still, going after these guys hard. I know they miss out on Elijah Pritchett. I don't know if you want to talk about that recruitment, but
yeah, I was going to bring it up.
Florida State felt really good up until, recently. I know, Dustin and I had different opinions in the Discord. I went with what I felt just based off talking to a couple of people that Florida State still felt good despite the slow start. But when you go 0-4, man, for a guy who clearly wants to win, that's the nail in the coffin. And you have to understand Florida State put a lot of effort into Elijah Pritchett, and they were in a really good spot for a long time, but they just weren't able to produce on the field, and that's why he chose Alabama. So I think we've seen a little bit Florida State back off on some guys on the offensive line because they felt good about Pritchett. So now they kind of go back to square one, and they still need to fill that hole. They still need to bring in another guy for that slot. So it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. But, if they look like crap for the rest of the year, it's going to be a free-for-all. And this class will look completely different. So they have to string some success together.
And yeah, I mean, it already is a free for all. Coaches have been hitting up Florida State commits. Going back to Graham, he got the offer from LSU, obviously, but he told me after FSU's lost to Wake Forest, he got text messages from Penn State, Oregon, UCF. So, coaches around the country are definitely paying attention to what's happening in Tallahassee right now, and they're trying to take advantage of it. And that's the recruiting game. It is what it is. But going back to Pritchett, like you said, Nate, I truly believe that he was in line to commit to Florida State. And if they were 3-1, even maybe 2-2 right now, I definitely think, he might have pulled the trigger. But just the product on the field hasn't been good. And that's why I put in that prediction 2 weeks ago. I spoke to a source. He said that FSU was third in Pritchett's recruitment behind Alabama and Georgia. And that's exactly what transpired. Was it yesterday he committed? I think it was yesterday. But yeah, he said that yesterday in his interview. Florida State finished third behind Georgia and Bama, and I think it was all due to the product on the field. Florida State's coaching staff did a terrific job in this recruitment.
Yeah, they did about everything right until lean into the season, and just the product on the field hurt. And that we talked about this numerous times during the offseason. We said it's going to come for a lot of these high caliber guys. It's going to come to on the field stuff, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, so you look at the Notre Dame game, 3 guys committed, and now you got to wonder if those 3 guys, made a commitment. If all 3 of those guys will end up at Florida State. So,
well, a silent commitment. We've seen how those go. I mean, look at Tony Mitchell.
It's my, it's my point. It's my point. So,
yeah.
My point is that FSU is shooting themselves in the foot off the field as well as on the field. So, it's all correlated with each other. So,
I do think, in my opinion, as long as Travis Hunter stays in this class, which, for 4 weeks now, he's been having to tell people that he's staying at Florida State and he's not talking to other schools, he's not visiting anywhere and all that. But as long as Travis Hunter stays in this class, keeps being the leader that he has been, and, plans to sign December, I think you keep 75, 80% of the guys that are committed. Because, I mean, they truly believe in him and themselves that they're going to come in and change this program around. I think you could lose some guys, and I think maybe a Lou Ba or Trevion Williams, Sam McCall even. We'll see what happens.
Travis Hunter's not going anywhere, man. I won't allow it.
He cannot.
I won't allow
it. You're going up to Georgia. You gotta have a chat with him. Yeah, no, that's the biggest recruiting tool right now for Florida State. Just add him to the coaching staff. Really, I mean, he was for every event, any kind of recruiting event. Travis Hunter was in town. So he's locked in and loaded. AJ Duffy is, and that's just how it's going to be right now. And I know a lot of people are still worried. And like y'all said, there's going to be decommitments. That's just how it goes in a recruiting class. But they still, I think for a majority of these, still they want to see improvement. And I think it's just going to take a little while in this season in order for it to happen. But at least Florida State does have NFL Noles to look at. I mean, look at this. I mean, absolutely having a great start to the season. Brian Burns is having a fantastic season thus far. Jalen Ramsey locked down crappy Tom Brady, so that was awesome. I didn't even hear about Jalen Ramsey whatsoever that whole night. And usually if that's the case for a DB, a corner, then that's a fantastic game for him. And Tom Brady got locked down by Jalen Ramsey. And then look at Jameis Winston. He bounces back and takes care of I'd love to act like I know who they played.
They played the Patriots.
The Patriots. Yeah, that's right. I don't care about the Patriots anymore. They're washed. And
he got by with a little luck. Just a little luck.
Oh, yeah, the one throw. That was hilarious. That was
amazing. But it was a free play, though, because there was defensive holding.
And so he went for
it. I'm hoping he knew that. That's why.
Oh, yeah, he did. Oh, no. Oh, he did. He definitely did.
Do you want to talk about Big Ben's effort?
I didn't see that game. I didn't even see it. I didn't know we had a game this last weekend.
We were getting our suits fitted.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was my excuse. I didn't see it. I'm getting ready for Dustin's wedding. I have to get so didn't know what happened.
Is that the code for back shaving?
Back shaving?
Getting ready for the wedding?
I didn't have to go back there to the changing rooms with him, thankfully. I haven't checked on his back, but I'll give you an update on it.
No, man. I mean, you're talking Super Bowl, and they look awful, man.
Who? Now, Ben? Oh, Ben. Big Ben.
The Steelers, man.
I'm not worried. Not worried whatsoever. I mean, look at Kansas City. Bottom of their division, too. Not even worried.
Yeah, Kansas City's there because they turn the ball over a little bit too much. And they're going to get themselves correct. But
Mahomes is
they don't have
fourth in passer rating. They'll be fine.
They don't have a 47-year-old quarterback who can't move in the pocket.
So whatever, also NFL Noles that played really well this last weekend. I'm trying to think of a few. Oh, how about Asante Samuel Jr.? How about that? We like that.
Josh Sweat.
Josh Sweat.
Who up there, Dustin?
Gabe Neighbors.
Gabe Neighbors. A couple catches. We'd love to see it. Staying on the team there. Let's talk about Nate's. Yeah, we're staying on these other teams. Let's talk about also 49ers pick up 2 former Noles, Chris Thompson, along with Jacquez Patrick. Congrats to them. We got to hang out with Chris a little bit at Kenny Shaw's camp, and he said, I'm just kind of seeing what's going on. I mean, an NFL team wants me. I'm ready to rock whenever. That's a guy that is always going to stay in shape.
And he's in a good spot. San Francisco loves to run the ball. They love rotating their backs. He's in a good spot, especially he's a good third down back. Gives Jimmy G an option out of the backfield.
Yeah, and Jacquez Patrick, too, had a good preseason with the Bengals, and a lot of people thought would have made that team, but now he gets a chance with the 49ers. So, and then now tonight, you got the signing of Ryan Izzo going to Seattle. So, and Ryan Izzo, played pretty well for the Patriots. He played quite a bit.
He did good for a 7th-round pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's got 300 yards and a touchdown in 4 years. So he didn't light it up. But, for a 7th-round pick, he's made it through 4 years. What else can you ask for? I think that's a pretty solid career.
Man, I'm down to go to Seattle.
Even Mario Edwards had a decent game. Yeah,
Mario Edwards, P.J. Williams got a pick, too.
Mm-hmm. Mario had 3 or 4 tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, quarterback hurry, pass deflect. He was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So
Devontae Freeman. Yeah. Devontae Freeman not this last weekend, but the weekend before I had a pretty decent game too.
Freeman
2 carries.
He had 2 carries.
Should have had more.
He did have that one long run. I will give him
Yeah.
He had 3 last week for 8 yards.
Yeah, I know.
I think the effectiveness of Freeman is over.
That's why I said the weekend before a-holes.
But yeah,
Derwin James,
8 years for a running back, that's a pretty long career.
Oh, for sure.
Pretty damn good.
He got a second contract, so that's all that matters.
PFF is ranking Derwin James as one of the top safeties in the league too already.
We're not surprised.
Nate seems really shocked. I'm just lying. I'm just playing with them. But yeah, Jameis is going to be facing the New York Giants this upcoming weekend.
It's a dub.
Yeah, that shouldn't last long. That shouldn't last too long.
It's going to be like week 1.
Yeah, and then the Steelers are beating the Packers at 4:30 primetime. Logo hits different. Let's see. Let's move on now quickly to our next topic on here, and that's basketball real quick. VZ, give us the latest. Florida State just landed a forward with Tom House. That name sounds like an oatmeal company, but I didn't think it was real when Dustin told me. I thought it looks like if I'm going to Publix to grab oatmeal, Tom House, that's what I'm going to grab. But Tom House picks Florida State 2022 recruit. How are we feeling about it? What's going on here? Give us the latest, because there's not a lot of material on him. I think you would know the most. You are the best on the beat.
His recruitment picked up pretty fast. He went from Florida State didn't have any interest, and then like a week or two ago, we're like, hey, keep an eye on this guy. He was on campus this past weekend with Deontay Green, and then he pulls the trigger, gets the offer from Coach Ham, pulls the trigger today, commits to Florida State. Right now, I know the optics of an unranked guy committing are not the best, but he's a talented guy. 6'6", shoots the lights out of the ball, and he's pretty athletic for a 6'6" white guy from Ohio. I like it. I really do. You get some shooting off the bench, and really that's what Florida State's been wanting. You got to get these guys that can shoot. They shot 40% from 3 in conference play last year. They want these guys that can just light up the net from the arc. As long as he's productive and is athletic, that's really all you need in Florida State system. I think it's a solid pickup. By the time he signs, he'll absolutely be ranked. He'll probably be a high 3-star if I had to guess, something in the Devin Vassell range.
Yeah, I know nothing about the guy except the nickname House Money sounds amazing.
Yeah, what were you laughing at?
I was laughing at him saying he's athletic for a 6'6" white guy from Ohio.
I mean, like he's not just athletic for a 6'6" white guy from Ohio. He's athletic. Florida State's not going to take a guy. That's
it was just funny.
Yeah.
I saw him throw down a couple dunks in the tape I did watch.
I want him to blow up, man. There's a lot of things you can do with House. Like, welcome to the house. Like, that's about all I got. So,
House Money, like I said.
House Money?
Other big news was Julian Phillips, 5-star, top 15 prospect, released his top 4 today. It was Florida State, Tennessee, USC, and LSU. That's a recruitment that's going to come down to Florida State and Tennessee, I think. Really talented guy. He's a typical Florida State recruit, who's long and athletic and can score from all 3 levels. He's exactly what you want. As far as the decision date, it's probably not going to be the next month or so. It's probably going to be closer to when his high school season starts, if I had to guess. But Florida State really likes where they stand right now. They just went and saw him play, I believe, yesterday. So still really involved in this recruitment. Yeah, still really involved in this recruitment. They want him badly, both him and Dylan Mitchell, whose comment is on the screen. Those are 2 guys Florida State desperately wants, and as long as you get one of them, they'll be happy. But if they can get both, you're looking at a really good team next year.
I'm ready for it. I mean, it's been a little bit of a slow start to basketball recruiting compared to the last couple of seasons, and especially, now to land an unranked guy. I can see why fans would, maybe be a little unhappy, but there's still some big fish that FSU is in the hunt for.
And it's not like Tom House is unknown. Like, he had offers from Georgia, Tulane, Ohio. Like, he had some solid offers. And keep in mind, when Devin Vassell was coming out of high school, he had our offer, and then his next best offer was UNF. So, like, I trust the staff with these kind of guys. If this is who they want to go after and think they can be a productive player, then I trust them in that evaluation. Same thing if you go back to Fiondu. His only other offer when we offered him was Binghamton. Like, just trust the staff. It was Binghamton. It's this really small school.
The hell is that?
Exactly. I trust the staff on these guys. If they believe they can develop him, I have no reason to doubt them right now.
Yeah, he's going to bring down the house.
Yeah, Carroll. You can't steal Carroll's Like
Shouldn't
saying
put it
here.
up there. Shouldn't put it up there.
Carol says, bringing down the house with House. I like it. I like Carol's comment there. Good work.
The podcast people couldn't see it, so
the podcast people can't see. That's why I was going to describe it for them, for those audio freaks.
But now they know you just plagiarized, which is bad.
I just stole that. But what about it? It's all doesn't
see my writing.
You got to trademark it first. That's what matters. So
Carol, see my writing.
See your writing. Oh yeah, yeah. Should see. You should just summarize. That's practically Dustin's college right there.
Austin, who's more athletic, House or Wyatt Wilkes?
House, like it's not even close. Like Wilkes can dunk. House is athletic. Like he actually is.
Who do you think is the better prospect coming in? I think that's a better question because Wilkes was just about a top 100 recruit.
Yeah, I think Wilkes was a better recruit. I think because he had a little bit more all around game where he could score from all three levels. At least in high school. Like I remember when we worked him out on his visit, and he had post moves, he had post fades. You know, he was able to score from all three levels. I remember walking away from his workout being really, really impressed. We'll see with House. There's not a lot out there right now. I'm sure now that he's committed to an ACC program, he's gonna have a lot of film on him this year. And he's had chances. Like he was playing AAU against Jay-Z Gortman, Dylan Mitchell. Like he was playing against these guys. So better athlete, House, better prospect, Wilkes. The thing with Wilkes is I think Wilkes came in at the wrong time. I think if he comes in like 2012-ish, I think he's the perfect player for what Florida State wants to do. Now that they moved to this space and pace, you know, they're really trying to push the ball on the floor.
You know,
like I think he just got buried a little bit. Not to discredit him at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gentlemen, let's get into some FSU versus Syracuse preview to end off the pod. We'll be giving our score predictions here in just a few moments, along with key players for the game. But first, initial thoughts for you guys heading into this weekend's game at 3:30 on ACC Network. I believe it is. It is ACC Network. I should know this.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, ACC Network. So yeah, Nickelodeon. How are we feeling? What's the vibes? What are the vibes like after Noah and I were at practice? You know, throwing some scoop in there. A lot more energy this week. What are we feeling now? Jordan Travis may be available. He wasn't available last weekend. He was dressed out, but wasn't warming up. I'm dying. Someone talk for me.
Feeling, I guess I would say I'm feeling kind of 50-50 right now, you know, because we've seen the best I've said it a couple of times, but we've seen the best of this Florida State team can play. We've seen the worst they can play. But like you said, Logan, I think it's encouraging to see that, you know, they haven't put their heads down. They haven't quit fighting. They're still believing in the coaching staff's message and want to go out there this weekend and hopefully get that first dub against Syracuse. And, you know, like Nate said earlier, these teams, they're very similar to one another, in which they both have strong running games. They don't have great passing games, and we're going to see what happens. It's a very interesting matchup, and we'll talk about it more as we get into it.
Yeah, and they're both really good against the run. They both get after the quarterback. I mean, I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. You know, this is going to be maybe a game where you see a lot of ball control from Syracuse. I think with the way that running back is playing right now, he's averaging 134 yards a game on 20 carries and almost two touchdowns a game. So averaging 6.46 yards a rush. So, you know, they've had a lot of success with him. And they have 18 sacks on defense, but 8 of those were against Albany. So, again, you know, you don't necessarily know what you got coming into this game, but we all know what we have at Florida State so far, and it's great that they're having a motivated practice this week. But you know, stuff has to carry over, man.
I have no faith. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna be blunt. I have no faith. This team hasn't shown me anything. I don't give a damn about effort. I don't give a damn about practice. Show me something in the game. Like, I don't want to see fight when you're down 17. Show me fight when it's 0-0. Like, show us something. Like, we'll talk about it. These teams are similar. They both want to run the ball, or at least Florida State should want to run the ball, and they both have good run defenses. Can we figure out something in the passing game to get stuff going downfield? Probably not, but we need to. That's where they need to focus on. The running backs are great, but I just don't know if they'll be able to get the chance.
One thing that also kind of worries me a little bit too is, Louisville, was very productive getting to the quarterback after not being a great sacking team. They were okay, but they weren't great. But they put a lot of pressure on Milton, and Syracuse is averaging 4.5 sacks a game, so that's a concern of mine. And the fact that they're only giving up 2.3 yards per rush and only 85 yards rushing the game, it's going to be really interesting to see if Florida State can, have sustained success in the running game, because as you've seen, that's really been what's made this offense move this year. And if they can't run the ball, it's gonna not be a pretty game.
Yeah, those offensive line injuries are killing Florida State right now. I mean, obviously Maurice Smith hasn't been able to play since the first half against Notre Dame. Devontae Love-Taylor has been banged up, and he suffered that late season leg injury last year. So you've got to wonder if he's 100% back right now. Like you just said, Nate, Louisville got 4 sacks on Saturday. All 4 of those sacks were against right tackle Robert Scott, who was returning after missing the game against Wake Forest. And I mean, he's clearly not fully healthy right now and is just battling to be out there. And, Florida State, they still don't have that established depth on the offensive line where you can have injuries to the starters and then have quality backups behind them. That's why guys are having to play hurt right now, and that's why the product isn't looking great on the field.
Yeah, and before people jump all over Robert Scott, man, that guy gutted out that game.
He's banged. He's hurt.
He can't, he can't plant. So anything that's near any kind of a defensive end that can rush a passer, it's going to be a really tough game for Scott. So, I mean, they're banged up across the whole entire offensive line. So, they really need Maurice Smith to come back, and they just got to get healthy. It'd be a perfect time for a bye week, but
2 more weeks to go. We're limping our way towards the bye week.
So
slowly but surely.
Yep.
The defense has got to start off faster. I mean, you got to get off the field, got to get the offense on there majority of the game. I mean, Florida State on 3rd down, it's just what kind of bad juju? What happened? I mean, obviously you had 2013 and 2014, but 2013's defense, I mean, oh my God, what you would do to go back to that.
Mean,
talk about spoiled then. Doing friggin' games on the whiteboard. The second quarter.
I'm tired of looking at the time of possession and seeing, Florida State being outpossessed 2-1. They can't sustain drives, as Austin said,
and they can't get off the field.
The defense, at one point gave up 8 or 9 to 3rd down to one of the worst teams in the country on 3rd down. So, what's going to keep FSU from not having those same troubles this week against a team that wants to pound it over and over and over? They run, I think, 38 times a game. So, they're going to be leaning on you for all 4 quarters. So you got to come out ready to punch them back. Don't know if we'll see that yet.
Yeah. Gotta have the fight, man. Just gotta have the fight. What do you think has been most impressive not impressive, I should say, but I'm going to do a complete opposite here. Who needs to improve the most on both offense and defense? We've been 4 games in. Well, Austin's going to go with the easy answer.
I'll go with.
I feel like you and I might be the same one on defense.
I'll go with on defense. I'll go with Amari Gaynor. Florida State just needs better linebacker play. You can choose almost any defensive back and have an answer there, but I'm looking at, Florida State want to play a 4-2-5 against teams that are spread. And, you don't have an answer against teams that can kill you in the middle. You don't have a legitimate guy who can consistently cover. Lundy's not a guy that can cover all the time. Dix isn't. You expect Gaynor, all the athleticism he has, just hasn't been able to get over the hump. Really, we haven't seen him be an explosive football player since he was a freshman as a pass rusher. So is that where he needs to be? I don't know. But Florida State needs to find something at that second level, and the teams are going to continue just to pick and choose whenever they want to exploit that area. Offensively, I would say, Florida State needs, better play from. I'll go with. There's a lot of options here too. I'll go with Parchment, man. Florida State needs someone to step up and be a big time threat out wide receiver. They need someone that can stretch the field on a consistent basis, even if it's something that's incomplete. You got to at least have that threat that you can make a big play, and Florida State really hasn't. And you watch the opportunity that he had last Saturday, and the way he just played the ball, and it was bad. It was just bad in a lot of ways. And Florida State needs that threat outside, and who's going to step up?
I was going to say Parchment too on offense. Since you took that one, I'll take another receiver in Keyshawn Helton. I mean, that drop against Jacksonville State just stands out so vividly. With his experience, you got to hope he can catch a ball. And he's just had too many drops. He's had too many inconsistencies with not getting open. Florida, like Nate said, Florida State's got to have someone that can create in the passing game. And when they're not getting open, when they're not catching, it really hinders this offense and just continues to egg the defense into putting 8 people in the box, 9 people in the box, continuing to stop the run. On defense, again, like Nate said, you can go with almost any DB. I'll go with Travis J. Supreme athlete. His athleticism is off the charts, but he's one of those guys that he's in position to make the play and just doesn't make it, whether it's a deep ball and he's just not playing the ball right, whether it's in the run game missing a tackle. He's got too much talent to continue missing these plays. Florida State really hoped he could be their number one corner. He just hasn't been it.
And I'm really kind of disappointed in, just to follow up and piggyback off Austin real quick before, I think Dustin will be next. But, Keyshawn Helton as a punt returner has been mega disappointing. I know they made that switch in game 2, and, he made a couple plays, but, he had 2 massive gaffes against Louisville that cost FSU a lot of yards. Letting that punt go over his head, just misjudging it, and then catching it on the 6-yard line when that ball was clearly going to go in the end zone on that last drive. So Florida State had to start at the 6-yard line. Just 2 boneheaded plays, and they're just boneheaded plays. So it's disappointing that Florida State continues to not have anything in the return game. You put Helton back there, who you think has enough shiftiness and he has the braveness to be a punt returner, and you have to have some balls to be a punt returner. But
yeah,
that last week was just really bad. Just to piggyback off Helton's play so far this year. After having fall.
with all the other issues that this team has had, the special teams has kind of floated on by, and Nate, like you said, the punt returning has been pretty bad. You look at kickoff returns. I mean, you've got 2 speedsters back there, and Corey Wren, Travis J, Ja'Kai Douglas getting some reps, and they can never make anything happen because the blocking is just normally pretty. I mean, I don't want to just say flat out terrible, but it's been pretty poor so far. I mean, I think there's the most FSU's return to kickoff to is like the 37, the 38-yard line in 4 games with the kind of speed you got back there. It's kind of ridiculous. And yeah. And
Corey,
you've got
Red's return.
You've got a kicker who struggles with clutch kicks and has missed an extra point. The punter is pretty good. I'll give you that. But then you're also making also making other miscues like going after punts and roughing the kicker and all kinds of things. So it's kind of been a disaster when, coming in, that was an area that Mike Norvell harped on was having an elite special teams unit. That hasn't happened this year for sure.
Agreed. I think that's a pretty good stuff to note on now that we're third into the season. It's crazy, man. Time is flying by, but now the real fun is going to start beginning here. Let's figure out key players for this game, and then we'll get into score predictions to finish off this evening. Key players for Florida State versus Syracuse on offense, defense, or just whoever you kind of want to name will be huge for this game. I think probably for the running game, there'll be a few linebackers named, but run game defense, who do you think is going to have to play a pivotal part in this game for Florida State to come away with their first win? You're at home again, and then you'll be going on the road to Chapel Hill. You're really wanting to have a win right now because after this week, I mean, you most likely will be 0-6 if you don't get this win this upcoming weekend.
For me, it starts with the defensive tackles. Fabian Lovett, Robert Cooper, Dennis Briggs. Even
got to have Lovett back.
Yeah, if he plays. It really comes down to them when you're going against a run-heavy team. Forcing pressure up the middle, eating up blocks for the linebackers to hopefully make some plays. It starts there. I think the ends have been great in run defense, both Keir Thomas and Jermaine Johnson. They've been fantastic. D-tackles got to continue getting pressure, forcing double blocks, letting these linebackers run free.
Yeah, I was gonna say Robert Cooper as well because he was a guy that stood out to me against Louisville. I thought it was his best game of the season by far. There was a couple times where he was just able to go straight through his man and bring down the running back for a tackle for loss, and that's the kind of effort you're going to need this weekend. And hopefully the guys behind him, like Jarrett Jackson, can also contribute this weekend. And off the defensive end, like you said, Austin, you've just got a couple monsters over there, and Jermaine Johnson, Keir Thomas, even Marcus Cushney, Derek McClendon, Quashawn Fuller. I mean, you've got a deep defensive line, and you're going to need to show that against Syracuse if you want to shut down their running game.
The cheerleaders.
Nah, I mean, offensively, I think that, I think that you gotta have a good game from the everywhere. It's really the answer. Let's be honest. It's hard to sit here and pinpoint someone that's got to have a great game, but I'll just say you have to have better overall play at the tackle position because it was a turnstile last week. I know guys are banged up, and that plays a part, man. It does, but Florida State's going to have to run the ball really well because a front four that's going to get it. They're going to come after them, and this team's got to respond. So, and like we said earlier, Florida State's going to have to make some plays through the air. So, can they get enough time, just to make that happen? Defensively, I'm going to go with DJ Lundy. He's been really good this year in the run game. He's going to have a big game. He's going to have to really, plug those holes and, make that running back really, really earn those yards. So, and I think that's where I'll go. The defense has to just nut up, and we're just kind of just beating around the horse here, and everyone's got to do better. Austin had the answer initially, but when you look at specifically who needs to play better, I think all those answers are legitimate. The coaches got to be better. The special teams have been atrocious. Can we return a punt, pass the 20 on a consistent basis, and get some good field position? Can Ryan Fitzgerald make a college kick? Can we return the punt? There's just so many. Damn it!
Irritating things. Very irritating things. Young team, but put in the right positions for majority of times. Just got to make the plays. Let's jump into some score predictions. Before we do that, let's give some love to our sponsor, Hobbit. American Grill, the best place in town for wings, burgers, definitely before games. Even if you're over here on my side of town, kind of midtown, you can go dip over to the south side just a little bit to their Capital Circle location too. But best wings in town. Garnet and Gold wings are second best. The Carolina Golds, though, absolutely amazing, delicious. Make sure you ask for extra wet, extra crispy, and then also you can call ahead. They'll set up a booth for you too, or a table of how many people, and they'll put on the exact game that you're looking for, even if you're pulling for, even pro, but also if there's any rivalry. I mean, they have a Penn State group that comes in and watches games every weekend. So definitely go over to Hobbit, show them some love, definitely before games too, and afterwards too. They're usually open after games, definitely this weekend after FSU versus Syracuse. Go give them some love. They're awesome. They treat us amazingly. So go show them some love. Gentlemen, let's get to it. Let the fun begin. Nate, what are you at right now? 2-2? Are you 1-3? You're not 1-3, right?
I don't care what I'm at.
He's 1-3, yeah.
I told you I'm picking Florida State to win every game.
That's just a way to save yourself. That's just
I don't care.
And then after he blew the one prediction, was that
which one? The Wake Forest?
It was Wake, yeah.
Yeah, it was Wake, and you're like, I think Florida State's gonna get good. And then you're like, no.
That's because y'all ain't got no balls.
Whoa, hold on.
I just prefer being right. That's more where this is
going.
Yeah.
And if you're in the chat right now, throw in your score predictions. It's time. Score predictions. We need them in ASAP.
These are unbiased predictions. So
yep, these are unbiased.
Can't just pick Florida State every week. That's
Dustin's
not realistic.
Dustin's throwing shade at you, Nate. Do you want to have a
not
comment
throwing
back
shade? I'm just.
He's talking directly to you, actually.
It's a good way to get your record to go the opposite way that you want it to go.
I couldn't care less.
No.
Bobby's got a little interesting question here. Toa Philly, kick return or punt return?
He was awesome at it in high school. He was really good as a return man in high school. That'd be a good option. You don't have to be a Blazer to be a return man. You got to be able to hit the hole and goal. You got to go because those holes aren't open very long. So you got to hit it, and they're too busy back there dancing. So
too much dancing with the stars, but there's not really any stars we're dancing with, just L's. Let's go. Let's get it going here. What do we got? Who wants to? Nate, do you want to just go ahead and say that Florida State's winning this?
Yeah, man. I got Syracuse. I got Syracuse 23, FSU 21.
Okay. Now, D-Lou, talk to me real quick. You were saying in the Discord, were you all talking a bag of chips, or were you just saying, the practices, all this energy is making me feel good?
I said I was leaning towards it. That doesn't mean I'm not doing it. I'm not.
Oh, dang. Wow. Okay. Interesting. You go right ahead. He was talking in the Discord. If you guys are you got to get in the Discord, see Dustin tease us, but not even do it.
I mean, look, I think it's going to be
clickbait.
A close game throughout. I think probably Sean Tucker is going to have a pretty good game, but Florida State's defense is going to make some plays as well. I'm just not confident in this team playing a full 60 minutes. I said it last week. I predict based off what I've seen, and from what I've seen, Florida State isn't a consistent team through 4 quarters. They're not very good on offense. They're tied for the most turnovers in the country right now. And, the defense, it's not good on third down. The defensive backs get burned way too often in man-on-man coverage. So I just don't feel comfortable picking FSU to win. I'm going to go Syracuse 28, FSU 24.
Ooh, dang.
Close loss.
Like that?
Next week won't be close.
Dang, depressing. Come on. Austin, get us optimistic. You got an FSU basketball commit today. Come on, get us in the good mood.
As I said earlier, I have no faith in this team. I'd rather talk about this fire jacket that I got from Garden and Gold than I would rather talk about this game.
G&G. Yeah, it's gas.
I have no faith. Zero faith at all.
Jeez.
I don't care how good they look to practice. I really don't. I don't care about the energy. I don't care that they had a good second half last week. Show me something. Prove me wrong. As I will continue to put in my articles, I will not pick Florida State to win a game until they win a game. I've got Syracuse. I've got Syracuse 27, Florida State 17.
So if I'm speeding ahead, because I know you're not going to pick Florida State to beat North Carolina, you're still going to predict UMass to beat Florida State.
Fighting
Austin?
Walt Bells will beat Florida State in Tallahassee. It's going to happen.
Wow. Austin, look, Nate is like,
prove me wrong, Florida State, please. I'm begging.
If FSU doesn't win this week, I'm picking UMass.
I really need Florida State basketball to suck again, so FSU football can get back to the rightful spot.
42 days. We're getting there. 6 weeks.
they're probably going to have the best season ever. Nate, you'll be screwed.
No, I'd love Leonard to win a national championship. It'd be great to see.
Do it now. Do it this year, and then that'll be good. Then we're good to rock. Then Florida State football is up next, right?
I think COVID robbed him of his best opportunity. So
this is a great way of doing a score prediction. Sylvester is saying FSU 31-21 FSU. So you just kind of predict Florida State playing.
FSU wins no matter what.
FSU's winning this game, Sylvester says. So that's a great score prediction there. Nice. Oh, this one's tough, man. On the Mark Rogers show, oh, man. I don't know. I like what I got from the two practices. I'm the complete opposite from Austin. I like that Norvell was fired up in the press conference.
We're talking about practice.
You're a fool.
Yes. I might be a fool, but watch me. I was going to try to say some phrase, but I don't have anything good.
Are you going to pick Florida State?
I am picking Florida State this weekend. I think Florida State will have its first win. I said last weekend I had a really close score, and I was really close to it. This week, I feel even better. I've got Florida State winning this game 31-28. This will be Florida State's first win. They'll go into North Carolina with some good momentum. I don't think they'll be winning that game, but I do think overall the practices and if Jordan Travis is available, I think that's the best guy that gets you down the field along with Jashawn Corbin right now. And we'll see if the defense, I think them having that momentum and them seeing, hey, this on film works. This is what really works in the second half. How about I listen to the staff a little bit more and put myself in the right position? I'm hoping that swings over to this upcoming week. But I've absolutely loved seeing the energy from the practices is good enough for me.
Okay, well, the chat
a whole 180 from last week. A whole 180 from last week, and that's why I predicted Florida State to lose. It's all about the energy, baby. It's gonna be
the chat is behind you, Logan.
The chat is with me, and Nate. Nate's with me. We're holding hands.
Nate picked Syracuse.
No, he picked.
He said 23-21 Syracuse.
What? I'm by myself.
No.
No.
I said 31.
Who?
Florida State 31.
It sounded like you said 21.
I heard 23-21.
I heard 23-21.
No, 31-23 FSU.
Man, we're going to have to play that back.
Yeah, play it back.
Yeah, review the tape. I don't know about
Logan,
this.
Spin that.
Yeah. Hey, but I don't know what I'm even saying. I'm losing it, dude. I had like 5 hours of sleep.
I did not want to hear it. I did not want to hear it.
What are you talking about?
I was in the hospital for 9 hours Saturday night. I don't want to hear it.
It's Wednesday. What are we doing?
Yeah. And then my freaking tooth woke me up at 3 a.m. So yeah.
Stop drinking all that damn chocolate milk and stuff.
Drinking nothing but water.
You just want more Toradol.
That's exactly.
Hey, I'll take it.
That stuff is heavy, bro.
He doesn't drink, so this is what he's got. He's gonna have to go to the pills.
Nah.
This is not good. We're heading in the wrong direction.
You got to get the Toradol shot.
Please?
You got to get the Toradol
I got the
shot.
IV. I got the
Oh
IV.
yeah, isn't it great?
It was awesome. They're like, hey, we're gonna hook you up with IV with this, and then we got to inject something for the CAT scan. I'm like, sure, go ahead.
Ooh, dang.
Yeah,
so pretty good.
Logan,
what up?
You are by yourself. I have Syracuse winning this game.
What?
Man, I knew it.
What?
23-21, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Man.
I knew I
Wait,
wasn't
you're
hearing
changing
anything.
it. What now? You're
know,
changing.
No, I knew I wasn't hearing things.
Yeah, you want to leave me by
He tried to
myself?
switch back,
Oh,
man.
I'm gonna be by
I just
myself.
can't, man. I can't. You know, this is, you know, this team, like, I just think they're gonna have an issue running the ball, and they just can't. They can't push through adversity on a consistent basis. So I hate it.
Man, this is tough. I got to say, I'm a little all by myself here. I'm not used to stringing along all on my own here.
You're either going to have the best record after this week, or
and by no means
I won't have the worst. That's the thing. At least I'll be in the medium here. So.
And by no means is Syracuse a good team. Like,
yeah,
you know, we know Florida State's not, but they're 3-1, but they beat Albany. You know, that's their big W. That's where they got a lot of their stats from. You know, Rutgers beat them. You know, they beat Liberty, who's not as good as they are last year. You know, they're still a good team. Yeah, they still have a really good quarterback. They were able to pull that win off. You know, it's going to come down to if Florida State can stop this running back, and we'll see. I just don't have a great feeling about this game.
Bobby said, "I need my dog Nate to talk more. Little buddy is funny. You're little, by the way.
Don't egg him on. He talks enough.
Yeah. Don't. We have him in group chats, like 8 of them. So let's just keep it. I should have hid that, anyways.
So no comment.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We got to mute him now. So all right, here we go. So I'm going solo. Dustin, Austin, and Nate have Syracuse. I have FSU this upcoming weekend. So I think that's gonna wrap everything up. I will say I'm looking forward to Dustin not being with me in the press box, so he doesn't steal my cookies and my Chick-fil-A. So thank God. I was worried about.
They might have a different press mail. I'll let you know when I get the email.
Oh, yeah, no, that would be nice. I'll send you.
Good.
I might send you a picture. I hope it's barbecue, and you'll be so ticked off.
Well, I'll be at
couple shower.
Yeah.
Dustin will be at couple shower this weekend, Nate.
Wait.
Yeah, no, it's couple showers weekend.
If Florida State wins, I won't watch another game the rest of the season.
Oh, are we writing? Oh, we writing that down?
No.
I can't watch anyways. So I mean,
we need to address this.
Austin's predicting Florida State to get. All right, go ahead.
I have to work. Sorry.
I mean, it's not my choice.
I don't think anything in that household's his choice.
Why don't you like?
Damn.
He's not wrong.
Oh, you should have seen us getting fitted for stuff.
Are you guys doing a joint bachelorette party too?
No.
A joint one?
Is she gonna let you have one?
I'm going to Boston. She's going to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah. It's great.
Any comment on that? Any
advice? Sad, bro.
My comment is that I will be at a couple shower during the Florida State and Syracuse game. So if FSU somehow wins, I will not watch a game the rest of the year.
I've never heard of a couple shower that includes a man.
Well, do the couples just make up women?
I don't know. I've never. I don't know.
Showers a couple, females, a singular person now.
Someone tell us in the chat.
End this podcast.
Someone tell us in the chat. Someone tell us in the chat. Whoa, Kenny. Whoa, Kenny. Whoa. Where was that at? Kenny. Kenny, what? The War Chiefs. Kenny. The Marching Chiefs. I understand where we're going, where we're trying to head.
We can't even spell Kenny right, so.
Come on, that's how Kenny spells his name. Nick said, "Get this man Dustin a man purse."
Correct.
Didn't you see my picture on Twitter? I already have one.
Oh, he does have one. Danny says, "I'm with Nate." Oh, Dustin, you're getting ripped. We got to get off here.
This wasn't my decision. Like I'm on your guys' side. I'm on your side. Everyone out there, I'm with you.
Hey, if you don't stop it now, it's going to be a rough road to hoe for you, buddy.
He's got to fight back.
Pretty seriously, like, Dustin, where you going? I'm going to the bathroom. No, you're not. Now without my permission. Hey,
if it gets that bad, then we'll have to address it for sure.
I'm gonna go cover practice. No, you're not. You didn't ask me.
Hey, good thing practice happens while she's at work. So freedom.
Freedom.
You still got time, Dustin. You still got time.
I think I got 3 months. 3 months and 1 day, boys.
You're already whipped though, so that's gonna get even. Will it get worse? Will it get?
What's gonna change? Like,
no, you did say that once you're married, you're gonna be. You're off the hook. You're good. It's all done. I don't think that's the
your
case.
life kind of like ends.
Where's a hat so I can call Cap?
Oh man! All right, guys, let's get off of here. Yeah, no, I'm having too much fun. I've had like no sleep, but it's always fun to mess with Dustin. But yeah, me and Noah will be covering the game. You guys watch out on Twitter. We'll have live updates there. We'll have an instant game recap, and then we'll jump on here on Saturday evening and do an instant reaction. Hopefully, on my side of things, Florida State wins, so I can be the right one and the smart one here. But we'll see.
I hope so, man.
I hope so. I hope I'm right in all phases and aspects. But everybody, thanks so much for hanging out with us. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that like button right now. If you haven't, it's free. It helps support us and goes out to more FSU fans, helps the YouTube algorithm get it out there to more people. So hit that like button, subscribe too if you're new. Definitely welcome everybody hanging out with us. If you're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, subscribe, leave a review. Anything else? Any no game day announcement? Anything? Lots of content. 22 pieces this week.
Season.
Yep. Travis Hunter. Any last things on Travis Hunter, Nate?
Well, I mean, when you have the greatest recruit of all time committed, the future's bright. So
love it. Always love ending on that. All right, everybody. Wish Dustin Lewis good luck at his couple shower.
What kind of dress you wearing?
Blue with the polka dots.
Okay.